Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Alex. I'm very good. I'm just putting my phone on silent.
Oh, good, because you do fidget.
Well, I have. My mum said this the other day. She said she watched the ADHD episode that we did last week. Loved it. Has learned a lot. I think she might be thinking about going for a diagnosis. She says I implant things into her brain, and she said I'm like Elon Musk. I just put things into her brain and then she does it. But yeah, one of the things that she said is what she picks up on me is what a fidget I am on the podcast and moving. And I was like, you know what? I used to get on the sober sessions so like a bit embarrassed that I was so
paranoid.
Fidgeted. Yeah, I was paranoid and I felt stupid and embarrassed that everyone was more professional than me. And I think since having a diagnosis, I'm very much like, fuck it, it's who I am. I fidget, get over it. I play with my hair, I move, I look up, I look down. That's it.
Do you know, hang on, before we move on, we haven't actually said hello to anyone who's listening. So hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the Be Sober podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Lisa. And we are really excited that you're here.
And if you want to go back and find out more about us, you're going to have to do that in your own time. There's far too much. And I bet we say the same thing loads and loads of times over and over and over again.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
When I used to teach, and I taught people who had diagnosed ADHD or even undiagnosed, actually, you could tell a mile off because they were the kids who actually were really understanding what you were saying and what you were doing when they weren't looking at you. And a lot of my staff used to say things like, oh, I'm sick of them not facing the front. And actually, it was me that often used to say, why do they need to face the front as long as they're doing what they need to be doing?
Yeah.
So I think I was ahead of the times.
Yeah, definitely. You must have been. I could have done with a teacher like you, I think.
Well,
I know. I do. Well, maybe it had been picked up on and I wouldn't have had to wait till I was 45 for...
Yeah, maybe.
Notice, but I think that is definitely one of them. I know that. And well, I said this to you and Sam actually last week. I was telling you both about that if I'm staring at you and looking at you in the eyes, I'm not listening. All I'm doing is, do I look like I'm listening? Do I look like I'm listening? And if I'm fidgeting, I'm listening. So, yeah.
We've got a really exciting guest on today, right? It's John Thomson, and John Thomson's an actor, and years and years ago, I used to watch Cold Feet, and Cold Feet was like the British version of Friends, but better. And I know that's really controversial because loads of people love Friends, but I absolutely loved it. It was set in Manchester about these 6 friends, 3 couples, and all about their lives and everything. And I was in love with it. And our friend Natalie, and me used to watch it on a Friday night. I couldn't remember half the episodes for obvious reasons. But I actually went back recently and watched it again with my daughter. And,
did you?
Yeah. Not so recently that I can remember everything, but more recently than like when it first came out all them years ago. And I also realised that another one of mine and her favourite shows was called the Flint Street Nativity. And every time I ever mention the Flint Street Nativity, everyone goes, don't know what you're on about. And one Christmas, I don't even know the year, it was on live on... I
love that this is on YouTube and I've literally just watched you fully wipe your nose.
Yeah, I'm not wiping it, it's itchy actually, but anyway, it's got to keep happening, never mind. I can't, do you know, I've always...
Give me a flashback to Be Wild.
I've always gone like this, right, on my nose. I've always done it all my life. And my mum says, even now, can you stop doing that with your nose? I'm like, I can't. It's like... irritating.
I know.
Right.
Do you remember it Be Wild? And I remember
you were so
doing that, and then me and Lucy caught each other's eye, and you were like,
I can't help it. Honestly, it's a full-on ingrained habit. There's nothing even wrong with it. But anyway, don't pick me up on it because I've done it all my life. I'm going to carry on. It's like your ADHD. Okay, it's who I am. Right.
Exactly. Embrace it. I love it.
I'm going to embrace the nose sweeping. Sorry, guys. If you've got a full view of one of my nostrils, I apologise. So anyway, Flint Street Nativity. So me and Natalie used to watch it, and we recorded it when you could. I don't know if you can record on Sky, don't have TV. But anyway, I recorded it and watched it back time and time again. And it was only recently that I realised it was all the actors I love in it, and John Thomson's in that. And I've actually bought it this year to rewatch with my family. I've not seen it for years and years, but I remember how funny I found it. So I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good.
So this is weird because this time, because we know Ruth, I got a little favour from Ruth for one of my clients, Di, which I won't go into. And no, don't email me and ask me for any more favours or Lisa, we won't be doing it. But anyway, I did her a little favour. And in return, she said, I know John Thomson and he's sober and I can ask him if he'll come on your podcast.
This is Di.
Di, my client. Yeah, Di's my PT client. So yeah, I'm quite interested and excited about this one.
Yeah, I am.
Do you want to know what I was up to this week? I know you know, but does everyone want to know what I was up to this week?
Yeah, you start. I'm so sorry. I've got to get a glass of water. I'll be 2 seconds. It's literally there.
Do you know? She's got, go and do it. Stop talking. Go on. Go. Do you know she's done all right? This morning she came in, she sat down and she was doing something else. And then she just got up a minute ago. She said, I won't be a second. She disappeared, right? I don't even know what the ADHD moment was, but she came back. She obviously found some tidying up to do or something.
No, I didn't.
Settle. What was it?
So I thought
you did do tidying up first.
No, I had to do that one this morning, but no, I went upstairs for a wee, and then I thought, oh, you know what? Got John Thomson on, like he's proper famous. People might watch this one. I'll put a bit of lippy on, right? So I've just gone to put some lipstick on, but then like I didn't have my dint in my lip, so I just looked like I had a square lip. So then I tried to get my dint back in my lip, but then I wiped it. Then I ended up with it on my chin, and you can see there my chin's a bit red from rubbing it. Anyway, I just got some tissue off, wiped the lot off, and I'm just left with the red chin. That was my ADHD moment.
Can I just tell you that this is from the woman, right, that last week messaged me and said, Alex, I want to make our podcast look more professional. You've literally, half of our podcast is your empty seat.
From picking a parcel up.
Yeah, or messing with the dog or something. Like, we'll on one episode,
maybe next year.
One episode, she literally disappeared. She just went. Like, we started the podcast. Do you remember?
When was that? Was that not
Emma?
With who?
Emma Bell. Like, what? You literally came on.
I'm so sorry, but that weren't just bad.
No, that was a bad time you were going through. But
no, I'm gonna have to, like, I didn't just disappear. Like, I literally, my son had gone missing, so I had to message and be like,
"All right, you have to make me look like a bitch."
He's an adult now, but he was in his hit and he'd literally gone missing, and he was in a really bad spot. Go back, listen, guys.
Well, you don't need to listen. You can actually watch the empty seat on YouTube on that one, because that was also when we were recording. It's me interviewing somebody.
He'd thrown himself into the canal. It was awful that time.
Honestly, it's me literally interviewing somebody and not having anybody to bounce off.
Well, you're very good at it. You are very professional.
It's probably like I had fewer listens than the others because of that. Never mind. So anyway, this weekend I've been in the Lake District, right, doing a fitness retreat. And so I wanted to talk to you about this because honestly, I had a really lovely time, and I'm not going to talk about the fitness retreat, but I am going to talk about one specific part of it. So you may remember, everybody, a while ago when Lisa had done some breath work and like told me that she'd seen Jesus, right?
I didn't say it was actual Jesus, though. It was a vision. So
the first time you told me, you said it was Jesus. You did.
Well, that was for the dramatic effect, but it was a vision of a guy, and he looked what I would say Jesus looked like.
I've got an itchy nose now, and I daren't touch it.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I'll do what you do. I'm back.
You just disappeared. It's fine.
Go on. Take that.
I can't believe you actually did that, but didn't itch your nose, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? That's all right.
Yeah. I scratched my nose, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like, well, I've already said it now. Go on, you tell us about it.
So basically, right, she saw Jesus, Lisa, and she said that like he'd given her the gift of life in this vision, right? I think he blew it at you or something, didn't he?
I can't even remember.
He blew life at her, right? And I was so bloody pissed off, right? Because I was like, it's not fair,
like a dream. That's what it is.
What?
A vision. It's like a dream in breath work, isn't it? You're like in a trance state.
It doesn't even matter what state you're in. The fact is, you saw Jesus and he blew life at you, right? And I was so annoyed at the time because I'd recently started church and I was like, I want to see Jesus. I want to see Jesus, right? Because I go to church every week. So anyway, I let it go because I thought, you know what? I'm going to church and it's fine. I just want to tell you, right? And I know Joanne, who was on this fitness retreat, will be listening to this week because I told her she's going to get a mention. It's not going to be pleasant, Joanne. I'm still really mad at you, right?
It's why Jesus doesn't come to you, Alex.
No, it's not. I've figured out why Jesus doesn't come.
You need to learn forgiveness and let ego go and all these. I'm kidding.
Well, I think Jesus might be visiting you sooner next time I see you. If you carry on with that, you'll be visiting him. So anyway, right. So basically they did this forest meditation and during the breathwork part, Joanne said she saw this orange vision and then it became like a triangle. I hope I quote this right, Joanne, and it went into Jesus's beard and then Jesus appeared, right? But he was a bit older. So she went and I said, oh, hello, what are you doing here? So I was like, that was it. What are you doing here? You see Jesus and you just go, oh, hello, what are you doing here? Like, did you not have any other questions for it? Anyway, so I got mad all over again now. This is two people who have seen Jesus, right? I go to church every single week, more than once a week, and I've not seen him, but I figured it out and I feel all right about it. And I reckon it's because I am already fully in with the idea that Jesus exists and is there. I don't need to see him to know he's real. Don't change it in my mind because that's what it is.
Okay. Do not discuss politics or religion when you have a drink, I always got told. Like in pubs, they used to be like, don't discuss and don't do it sober either.
It's just full on, don't discuss it, is it? Isn't it? Ever?
What? Well, no, I think you should discuss stuff like that.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it should be a discussion.
The end of the discussion.
Well, you said that we weren't allowed to talk about it.
No, you can really. I am only playing. I am only playing. But genuinely, I was like, I can't believe this. I was so shocked. Yet another person sees Jesus.
I know. And I feel bad that I can't remember it proper now. I have such a bad memory, you know, with things like this. You have to go back
to one of the podcasts and find it where you talked about it.
Yeah, I know. Because when you said that, then like breathing, like I do like remember something like that. I
wanted to ask you something else as well. And this is like quite a boring topic, really. But I was having a wee this morning and I pulled the empty toilet roll tube off and I thought...
I did not know what you were going to say. That was awful.
No, it's nothing bad. And I thought, I always end up with the empty toilet roll tube, right? And I know for a fact that my family leave one sheet on there so they don't have to put the empty toilet roll tube in the bin.
Yeah, I think that happens in a lot of households.
Do you?
Yeah. It used to happen to like when all the kids were at home and stuff, that happened a lot. It doesn't really now. Both me and Rob probably equally changed the toilet roll when we finish.
I think it happens with everything in my house. Bottles, ketchup, juice, milk. I feel like everything that everybody uses ends up with the last little bit in so that I do it. I'm just checking my phone actually because I've just asked John. I asked John to text us if we were if he was expecting to be on at 11 o'clock. No, he wasn't. We're all right. We're good. We're all right. We've only got another 15 minutes of conversations about toilet roll to do. Shall we wait? We panicked though, didn't we? We panicked because basically John came into the waiting room and I went, oh, he's here already. I know. Didn't want to leave him waiting for half an hour if he thought it was 11 o'clock. No, that's true. That is true. Yeah, we're going to pause now at this point. I don't think we've got anything else to say to each other. And I can also tell now, Lisa's made me massively... Look at how she's sat. Look, everyone, how she's sat. She wants to go. Should we get a brew?
Do you know what? Honestly, Alex,
I've gone my nose again. I'm so sorry.
I know, but I've gone blank. I've literally gone blank. Like, I knew this is really. I'm wondering, people will either hate this or think it's really funny, right? But I know that we looked and you wanted to tell me stuff, and then for whatever reason, our conversation just ended. Then we've gone on to toilet roll, and I feel like we were looking like, shit, we've got 15 minutes to fill before this amazing guest come on, and this could potentially make us or break us.
And our conversation before having him on is about toilet roll tubes.
Oh, like what the hell?
But you know what? It's real. We don't edit it. It stays as it is.
No, let's have a coffee. You go and get a coffee too, guys, and get ready.
Why would they get a coffee? They're going to be 30 seconds from hearing him.
Well, they can pause it on the phone.
But why?
Or the iPad or the YouTube. Go get a coffee because it's going to be interesting and they won't want to get up in a minute.
Right, I'm going to pause.
Like this bit's just a little bit, yeah.
I don't think I'm really enjoying this bit. Get your coffee. See you in a sec.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm all right.
Please save us. Honestly, you need to save us from ourselves. We've just done an entire intro and we tried to be more professional than we normally are and ended up talking about toilet roll tubes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Dental Dexter.
We talked about toilet roll tubes because it's even really boring.
Please don't do it again. Can we just, honestly, John, it's so lovely to meet you. And I think we might have been a little bit nervous.
Yeah, we're recording. We're straight in. You've got to save us.
We're straight in. And if you tell anyone about it, please tell them to fast forward it to this moment.
Well, I just did a tour of the Fast Show live. It was a tryout and it sold out almost immediately. So we're going again next October. And I did do Denzel in the show. And they got these toilet rolls that we use because they got a bulk buy because they get crushed normally. Anyway, in rehearsal, I stood on them. And when we took the 4 tubes and stood on them and see if they'd support the weight of a human man. And I put them on and it did. It worked. It supported me. So we kept it in. So it does work. We have found the ultimate roll.
So there you go, right? So my conversation about toilet roll tubes does have a relevance.
There is a relevance.
To John.
Yes, there is. I don't collect them or anything. I'm not weird or anything like that.
Well, I apparently am because all the empty ones get left in my toilet. For me, I do get to say.
Years ago, I used to date a teacher, primary school teacher, who said, "Oh, keep all your toilet rolls." When I lived in a student flat with a lot of actors, she used to say, "Keep your bog roll tubes because I need them for crafting." And I give them to her.
In Blue Peter days, everybody needed toilet roll tubes and washing up liquid bottles.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just
John, obviously it was Di, your friend and my client who put us in touch with each other. And I told her I'd give her a little mention and say thank you to her.
Yes, of course, Di Conlon, so one of Caroline's old friends. So Caroline Hearn. So we're still in touch, her and Cal, and we meet up for lunch, and still reminisce about Caroline and other things, and so I'm still in touch with them. It's lovely.
It is lovely. And you've just been on a very famous Northern show, haven't you, very, very recently, and continuing to be so?
I am. I've actually finished. So if you know, we shoot in advance. So when I got there, it was just coming to the end of Halloween. And it was then, like in a week, it was Christmas. That's how fast the turnaround is. So you can tell by the cabin. So there were pumpkins in the cabin one week, and there's Father Christmas and selection boxes.
Wow.
So the turnaround is incredibly quick. So I did 3 months. I stepped in at the last minute as an emergency rescue. And it was great because I'd had a bad year work-wise. I'd not worked as an actor for 8 months, and my work's my drive. So if I don't work, I get I get very frustrated.
A bit twitchy.
Yeah, a bit twitchy, and also it's hard to find joy in leisure pastimes because I feel guilty that I haven't earned them through work.
Okay, that's interesting. So you feel like you need a reward for doing the hard stuff. Yeah.
So if I'm working and because I'm a BAFTA member, I get to watch all the films. And I am working very hard at the moment because everything's changed. But this year's been a very bad year for actors. If you talk across the board to actors in general, the agents are saying, were saying survive till 25 because it's been so bad. But there's lots of knock-ons from like writers' strikes and various things. So it's been a very, very tough year for actors this year. Like no auditions, nothing.
Oh, wow.
So I had 8 months of kind of, and then carpet writing went into administration, which I did a national advert for. So that was a massive blow to me. So as soon as Bargain Loving Brits finished, I was like, now what? And there was nothing. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, just waiting. And then I prayed for a job. I went, please, something come. And
then we came along and said, will you come on our podcast?
Well, there I am.
And you thought, this is an A-lister, gotta do it.
Yeah. Well, you were down, John. That's what we did. We waited.
Well, here I am. So yeah, I'm just about to do another emergency rescue package for a panto.
So this one, I take it from what Di said, you're not feeling quite so glamorous about, but it's still a good gig.
Yeah, it's still a gig. Yeah. But the thing is about panto, you kind of mentally prepare for it because you are married to that panto basically because it's twice daily. It's very intense rehearsals. There's a lot to remember. There's the choreography, the songs, everything. And normally,
if I know.
Well, I'm replacing Beverly Callard, who's not well. So I've had to step in at the last minute. She was playing Wicked Stepmother in Cinderella.
Excellent.
But because it's written around Wicked Stepmother, we're kind of having to create a character that doesn't really exist in Cinderella, which is Wicked Stepfather.
Oh, brilliant.
So normally Cinderella's dad is Baron Hardup and he's nice and he's poor and he's married the wicked stepmother and she is the ugly sisters. She's horrible to Baron Hardup and Cinderella. Yeah. But now we have to kind of rewrite the story where I presume my wife was the nice one and died and she married me and I'm horrible and I've got these two horrible daughters.
Do you know what? I don't think this is a bad thing.
I don't.
So my eldest daughter is a stepmom. And the other day she was telling me she's got Isabella, which is my granddaughter, and then a stepdaughter who's 5 or 6. And she said she went to put her to bed the other day and she said something to her like, I'm not nasty or something like that. And Beth was like, what do you mean? And she'd heard a story about a wicked stepmother. So for some reason, Isla had took it upon herself that Beth was her stepmom. Oh, that's it. Beth, I'm so sorry.
This has been the story of our morning. Come on, Lisa.
I'm just not doing good today. I'm really not doing good today.
I get it. Because fairy tales have always created, particularly Brothers Grimm, stepmothers as evil. Numerous of the
that's what she'd said to Beth.
Fairy tales.
She'd introduced her and said, "Oh, this is my stepdaughter." So she'd been playing it around in her head, and when she got to bed, she thought Beth was saying that this is my naughty child and this is my good child. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you. Yeah, because
it had come from there. I am so sorry.
That's all right. No, I get it. It's stepmothers are synonymous with being evil, and therefore the daughter of the stepmother should be evil.
Yes.
Where's your panto, John?
Real.
A lot of
North Wales. Real.
Funny real.
Pavilion Theatre. So I start that on Friday, rehearsals.
Oh, fantastic.
And we run from the 7th of December to the 31st.
Oh, brilliant.
So I'm just
I love a
packing
panto.
everything. I'm packing everything up now, but I didn't see it coming and I was like, oh my God. So that's 2 jobs I didn't see coming that have appeared from nowhere. So I feel very blessed. I'm very grateful.
Good. It's not the first Christmas panto style thing you've ever done, is it? Because I realised a lot longer after that I watched it that you're in Flint Street Nativity. That's and I bought the DVD this year to rewatch it. The last time I watched it was whenever you recorded it all those years ago. But I remember I loved it.
Oh, it's a cast of thousands. It's brilliant. It's like it was a great job that. We shot that in Wales actually. We shot that in Cardiff. Yeah, everybody's in that. It was good. It was great.
Derv LeCohen in it and Frank Skinner.
Yeah,
Neil Morrissey.
Steve Tompkinson, Mark Addy, Ralph Little, Josie Lawrence, God, there's so many names. Jane Horrocks. This is me just remembering.
Were you a shepherd, if I remember rightly?
I'm the school bully, kind of.
Oh, were you? I thought you were dressed as a shepherd in it.
I think I am kind of. I think the stories I wanted another part. I think I wanted to be Joseph in it, and I was kind of like let it fester that I'm not Joseph.
Yeah, and one of the other actresses wants to be Mary, and she's going on the whole time. And the line that my friend used to just constantly put on repeat was, "She's not going to be Mary. I am." The whole time.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. There's a brilliant social media clip of a kid going, "Mom, do you never guess what I am? Doorkeeper 2." But he's so excited about it. It was a good part. So before he tells her, it's a good part. It's a proper part. It's like a real part, like a main part. And she goes, "What is it? Go on." He went, "Doorkeeper 2." And it's so brilliant because of the joy that he's got out of the fact that he's got a pretty poor part, really.
Oh,
but
I remember Beth again, weirdly, coming home from school, and she was a Christmas tree one year, and I was like, flipping heck, a bloody Christmas tree. How am I going to make her into a Christmas tree? Anyway, the play ended up, it was called The Christmas Tree. I was like, shit, she's the main part.
All right, I was just thinking nativity, Christmas tree. That's a new kind of take on it.
I was thinking they were just going to
the lead.
Stood very there like this at the back.
I always got narrator because I was crap at acting.
I was always a narrator. Believe it or not, after that balls up this morning.
Well, funny you should say nativities. One of the reasons I went into comedy was I had a beard that was on elastic, and it was like made of horsehair or something. It was really itchy, and it had little fibres that would point upwards and tickle the inside of your nostrils.
See? Tickly nose, it's also relevant.
And then I remember they went, "Behold, this is the angel," like that, when the shepherds were sat there, and I sneezed and the beard went, "Shut up," right in front of me face, because it was on elastic, and it brought the house down. And I thought, oh, I like that.
Oh, that's comedy.
Just by accident, and I sneezed, and the elastic on the beard went, and the beard shot up, and the audience really laughed, and I thought, ooh, if only I could keep this in every night,
Yeah, you kind of got the bug right there.
I didn't. I was a pro.
You know what I want to talk to you about, John, because I know I've had a nice little look through your Instagram, and I saw that you just celebrated 17 years sobriety.
Yeah, that's right.
17 years. That's incredible. And I was just thinking then when you were saying it's been a bit of a tough time for actors this last year, that this is probably a time when a lot of people turn to something like alcohol, and in the acting industry, especially, really. Have you, even 17 years sober, does things like that ever cross your mind?
No,
that's
never.
So good.
It's kind of like giving up smoking, really, I suppose. It's like once you're through that rough patch, I think the first year's the hardest, really. You've got so many things, your head's spinning. Birthdays, Christmas, holidays, those three things just like sort of torment you in your head going, how am I going to get through this?
It's such a massive deal, that first year. And I think the longer you go on, like I know I forget about how tough it was that first year. And what are we, like I'm it's nearly 7 years sober.
Brilliant, excellent.
But 17 years, so like we know a lot of sober people now. Obviously, we run a sober community, so that's
we get shocked when we don't meet sober people. We're that into it.
Yeah, we are. We surround ourselves all the time with sobriety and people that don't drink, and all the events that we choose to go to, people don't drink. Now, 17 years ago, that was really, really different. Did you kind of feel on your own back then with it?
The thing was that it was a bit of a downward spiral with the tabloid. I had such a terrible run-in with the tabloids, being targeted. It was almost like a vendetta. And one of the problems I had was that I was kind of singled out for my, party lifestyle. When I wasn't really, it really hurt me because I wasn't a bad person. I wasn't going out fighting or smashing up places. And because of the success of Cold Feet, they saw me, they actually admitted I was an easy target. So one of the problems I had then was it was a kind of downward spiral of, well, one of my coping strategies at the time was drinking because of the pain of the intrusion in my private life, So I'm a bit shy on social media these days for the simple reason is that I use it as a promotional tool. I don't really, because my private life was used to sell tabloid gutter press papers. I'm a bit shy. I mean, at first I used to, really engage in it, but now I just felt that, well, why? I don't really want to because I don't know.
Well, you've been hurt by it. I suppose a part of you's gone in, and it's an exciting opportunity. The fame, the acknowledgement, people loving you, all that must be quite addictive in itself, anyway. And then you've kind of give them a massive part of you, haven't you? And really, they've took it away. They've took the piss, haven't they?
So one of the problems I had was, when I was out and about, I didn't know if I was being recognised for my front pages on the News of the World or recognised for the quality of my work,
Yeah.
Another thing that was very hard, most people's battles with alcoholism is very private. Well, mine wasn't by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And that was hard. That was very, very hard to deal with. And also, it took 5 years of sobriety before people started thinking, well, is he all right to work with, Which
it's
is
not
just
fair, is it really? Yeah.
Because the people go, we can't book him. I don't, no. And it was really hard. It was 5 years, It was a slow climb, to come round. And I've sued the newspapers for phone hacking and following me and all that kind of thing. But what price can you put on that? What price can you put on the pain and the damage that's been done? You can't.
And it's hugely damaging. I mean,
monetary. It just doesn't really mean anything, And I'm looking back now. I've had a top flight American lawyer, they would have sued the newspapers for time of work lost. For what they did.
Yeah.
They would have done that. They would have included that into the damages.
Isn't it wrong, that whole thing though, as well? The fact that you've openly come out and said, I've got this problem that I'm dealing with, but I'm sober now.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, however you went about it, I'm sober now. Isn't it wrong that people judged you as somebody who's not reliable to work with when you were actually doing something about it? And then you've got all these people in the background who are still taking drugs, who are still drinking alcohol, and they're still getting the work.
Journalists, themselves.
It's just a hypocritical thing.
Yeah. Double standards. Another thing that you have to realise is that you have to know you're solid in your sobriety before you can come out. And one of the reasons I came out was lack of work. I had to say, look, I don't drink anymore. Please trust me. And I knew that I was absolutely rock solid, and I had no intention of straying. Because it's a hard thing to do. Imagine that I had said that and then fallen off the wagon, and the press would have had a field day. But there's that old Chinese curse: may you live in interesting times. I never used to get that, but now I'm boring. I'm not. You can't write. There's nothing to write about anymore.
Are you happy being boring though?
I am. Do you know one of my favourite things is JOMO, which is the joy of missing out.
Yeah,
and you receive that phone call and they went, I'm really sorry, that charity ball's not happening anymore. And I go, oh, really? Oh, that's such a shame. And then I go, that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have an obligation to my charities that I work for, but I'd rather not go because I realise they're hard work those nights. They're all the same. And the reason why people drink is to get through the night.
It's the same with anything, whether or not you're in the public eye or not.
Weddings and that. And all of those things. People go, they went to, I remember someone went, I went to a Muslim wedding, there's no alcohol. It was awful. And I was like, is that all you went for? Is it not like a celebration of their happy day,
Yeah.
It's like, this country's a mess, really, because I don't know what it is. I'm Irish by birthright, and I think the Celts have a terrible, terrible problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, the Scots, the Welsh, the Irish, it's in you. It's kind of pre-programmed.
Oh, it's definitely pre-programmed. I think we grew up, didn't we, Alex? Basically in the 90s and the ladette culture, and like we both grew up in pubs as well.
Don't worry, it's peach tea.
We used all right. So we kind of used alcohol. There weren't an option to not drink. That's what it felt like. Like I didn't know people didn't drink. Does that even make sense? Like we drank when we was happy, when we were sad, at funerals.
Of course, any excuse.
Any excuse.
We worked behind the bar as well, Lisa, didn't we? And you know, like when we worked behind Lisa's mum's bar together, and it was like, get one for yourself. Well, we took that literally. We did.
You'd have it there.
Sometimes, behind the bar, you'd be like looking out of one eye while you serve.
Yeah, I've worked behind the bar when I was a student, and I remember they could pick one drink for the lock-in, you know, the staff drink.
Yeah.
I used to pick this drink, and I remember it was Newquay Steam Brewery, and I think it was like barley wine. I think it was 12%. Because I knew if I just had that it would really, you know, send me.
Yeah.
There's a clear sign, you know.
When do you think it's, I mean, obviously, John, I'm not sure what you do publicly and don't publicly discuss. So if I ask you anything and you don't want to answer it, just say I'm not answering it. When did you know there was an issue?
I think the wheels began to feel, the wheels started to fall off when I moved to London. I kind of, I did the classic student thing, you know, I'd be a bit hungover, but I'd still turn up, you know. But then when I went to London, it was a bit like it was literally a leap of the different social kind of thing. Private members clubs. Don't get me wrong, it was the 90s. We had Blair's Britain, and I used to hang around with the most amazing people in Groucho Club and Soho House, and I had some amazing friends. I'm not going to name drop, but you could the beauty of those places was you could go in on your own and know someone. Yeah. And then just have a night with them, and it'd be different people every time. You wouldn't have to arrange to meet anyone. You just go, hey, oh, right, yeah. But there was a lot of cocaine, and there was a lot of alcohol, and it kind of like it was just a habitual, you know. I mean, but we're all at it, you know. It was like birds of a feather flock together, and I loved it at the time. But then timekeeping, and you know, just unprofessional, really, behaviour, not unreliable. Always, one thing I really do not miss is that thing of going to work. Like say Cold Feet, you've got like all the houses but built on one level on ground floor, but like everyone's house, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom is built, you know, for almost like for real, you know. And I remember David and Karen had the nicest house.
Yeah, they did.
If I had a scene off, I'd go and get in their double bed and go, oh, brilliant. Sleeping off a big night, you know, that thing. Like the other morning, I got picked up for work at 5. And I just thought, I feel great.
Yeah.
Feel great. And I did a 13-hour day.
So good, isn't it? I remember trying to get
a 13-hour day. I was exhausted. I fell asleep, actually. I don't do this often. I fell asleep on the sofa that night because it was just kind of like just so intense. That thing of going total darkness outside, just looking out the window waiting for the sun to come out and feeling fine. That's great. So I don't miss that at all.
I think that's my favourite, and yours, isn't it, Lisa? Getting up in the morning.
Oh, I love all of it, mate. I love not drinking. Every single minute of every day. I'm sober. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for it. When you said that then about the mornings, I remember going to work. I worked in a paint shop once. Okay. And I remember going to this cold, awful toilet. All decorators used to come in and get the paint, and I was so ill. And the amount of times, and I didn't know I had like an alcohol problem at all. I still say that I didn't really, but I remember the amount of times I'd go in and I'd be like, oh, I'm a bit hungover today, as if it was a completely normal thing that everybody should be hungover. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course. When I went to rehab, the guy said a brilliant thing. Gordon, his name was, and he was a street tramp. He was like a tramp. And he was like suited and booted, and he ran the rehab. I'll tell you a quick funny story. I did Midsummer Murders, and there was a Scottish actor called Michael Nardini. and we were locked. It was locked down, but the hotel bar was open, but everything was socially distanced. It was very weird. There was only the cast at the hotel. It was a posh hotel in Hertfordshire. And we finished filming. He went, John, he goes, the bar's open in the hotel. Do you fancy going for a wee drink after we finished filming? And I said, I probably won't because I don't drink anymore. And he went, all right. I said, do you have a problem with it? I went, yeah, you could say that. I said, all right. I said, and then we got chatting and he went, did you go to rehab? And I went, I did. I said, I went to rehab where you come from. And he went, oh, where? And he went, I said, I went to Castle Craig in Peebleshire. He went, oh my God, you went to Alcatraz. That's what it's known as.
Alcatraz. I love it.
Alcatraz. It's tough, really hard there. So I did 6 weeks there. But I fell off the wagon though, because I got married. I wrote a full diary. I mean, like handwritten. It's like a book. I wrote a diary there. And I knew I had my stag do and my wedding coming up. And I just thought, I don't know how I can do this. And I did drink on my stag do and I did drink at the wedding. But that was 2005. And then I got sober in 2006. And it was just after Christmas, 29th of December. I was in the Beetham Tower Hilton Hotel. And I'd been in there for a couple of days, drinking the minibar, going out, coming back, minibar, just by magic. That was replenished by the booze genie. I drank that dry. And then on the 29th, I just looked out the window, it's pouring down, and the rain was coming down the windows. And I went, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. I've just had enough. And that was it. That was my last drink in there. And it's 29th is also Anthony Hopkins' sobriety birthday.
Oh, really?
Well. He's 45 years plus now.
That's amazing, isn't he? I love him on Instagram. He like dancing around and playing his
mad,
piano.
Isn't he? He's great, yeah. But he's so like with it. He's absolutely on the ball. Yeah. He was diagnosed with Asperger's very late in life in his 70s, I think. I don't even know.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in his 80s now, isn't he?
Yeah. But you know when you have a read through for a film, he's off the book.
Honest?
Yeah, he's learned it. No one else is like, everyone else is reading it. He's like, just sitting back, watching everyone reading it. Just know.
My auntie met him, you know. I'm pretty sure she'd bumped into you guys as well once. But anyway, you won't know by name, so that's irrelevant. But she she bumped into him in a convention. She used to do a lot of business travel, BTI, Hogg Robinson. She was the director for. So she organised a lot of the travel for actors and so on. And she was at like some convention thing. And he was there and she went over to him and was like, oh, Sir Anthony, can I just ask you, I know that I'll do your head in and you'll have been asked. And he went, what do you want me to do? A bit of Chianti? And he did the impression of eating a liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti for her. Yeah. She was so chuffed.
He's a good impressionist, is Anthony Hopkins. Really good at impressions. He does a
you all are, you know, anyone who's in, well, not all, but we're friends with Ruth Jones.
Yeah.
She's fantastic at accents. And I just sort of noticed yours. It's brilliant. Like, how do you learn to do that?
One of those things.
Yeah, as soon as you went into it, then I was like,
yeah, wow.
It's just one of those things, you know. I've just got a good ear. I've always been able to do it and pick it up, you know.
Are you musical as well, John?
Yeah, I play drums professionally.
Yeah.
Well, drums is like.
I saw that actually about the drums. Yeah.
Drums is kind of. I know a lot of drummers are great mimics because if you go to a drummer, they know exactly what you're talking about and they can play it. You kind of like orally say a brit and brit and brit. If they know what that means, not everyone listening will.
That's crazy.
But that's crazy. Kind of like you learn it like you learn orally, ears and orally. So I'm just learning Italian now because I've always wanted to learn another language. I did French at school, but I'm doing Duolingo now. So I'm like 310 days on Italian. It's going in very nicely.
It's keeping your brain active as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But you often find people, I can't do, I'm musical. Lisa's musical, but neither of us are very good at accents, to be fair.
What do you play?
Me, I play the church organ.
Oh, do you? Wow, that's what I'll pull out all the stops, literally.
Oh, she's absolutely incredible.
That's amazing. And what do you play?
No.
Well,
so like what she's done there, right?
The
She's
spoons.
She's going to put it down, John, but it's not
triangle.
Right. First of all, I'm just going to say, Lisa was in a brass band and played a solo at the Royal Albert Hall.
I did when I was very young. I played the We went to a school and it was very brass band.
Yeah,
It was. We were both in a brass
played
band.
drums in a brass band.
Yeah, I actually really loved it. I did get kicked out of the band because I went to a party, got drunk, and some lads threw my cornet. and school kicked me out of the band for it, and that's when things started to go a bit wrong, to be honest. Because
the bands were good girls, but also she plays, sound bowls.
Yeah,
sound healing. So she's not putting it together. She does. She is musical.
Singing bowls.
Yeah.
Very British.
I did one last night. Actually,
I can see him in the background. Okay.
I thought I'd left him out. I brought him in and put him on the
No, I see
table.
Buddha. I said that very Buddhist, the singing bowls. Yeah, I see Buddha in the background.
I wanted to ask you again, sorry, I'm going to go back to your sobriety and what have you, because I just think, did you do it alone or like when you came, because I know it must have been so hard. So what kind of support did you have?
Lindsay, who worked at Baby Cow, she was sober and she's a bit of a kind of rescuer. She's like a 12-stepper and she should see that wheels were falling off with me. And she said, you should go. I decided on, you have to know. That's the thing. You have to know when you have to go.
Yeah.
You can't just be pushed there, I mean, I know in America they have family interventions, don't they? And they're kind of like dragged off, I don't think that. It's not going to be if they don't want to go, it ain't going to work, you know what I mean? So I'd had enough. I just wanted to go. So Lindsay, very kindly, and I'm not the first, she suggested firstly Hazleton in Arizona. And I looked at the price and I went, no. But I did pay for my own rehab. I did pay for it. And it's the best money I've ever spent, to be honest. So, yeah, I went to Castle Craig. And like I said, you go up to step 5 with the 12-step program there. And then, like I said, I stayed. So I've been to the Priory for 10 days before, but I didn't really get it. I was convinced I was all right. I didn't really have I thought I didn't have a problem. And then I did that. I can't remember when that was. And then I was probably too drunk. And I was, and then when I got out of Castle Craig, I started again for a little bit and then stopped in 2006. And then after I decided to stop, I went to a few meetings so someone suggested that I do 90 meetings in 90 days.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the idea behind that is that's not in the Blue Book. So the Blue Book's like the Bible for the Alcoholics Anonymous. This was a system that was established in the 30s for people who reoffended when they were drunk. So burglars, for example, who would always do break-ins when they were drunk. So what they would do was...
that must be awful.
They were sentenced.
Trying not to fall.
And the judge would say you attend 90 meetings in 90 days. And,
right.
90% wouldn't reoffend because they wouldn't drink again and they wouldn't have because it would give them the Dutch courage to do the crimes.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with the Blue Book. So I started to embark upon this journey of 90 and I got to 26. And I just thought, I can't do this. Can't do this anymore. So they say, don't pick up the first drink and get to plenty of meetings. So I just don't go. I don't drink. I don't pick up any drink. I don't, and the temptations completely left me, really, because I know what it's associated with. It's just like one thing I forget about, though, the money I'm saving.
Oh, my God.
We must save a fortune,
Do you know what? It's unbelievable. I've got an app.
You put on I've got an app. Can you just tell us, because I saw this on your Instagram, actually, how much you'd saved in that 17 years. Was that the post that it was on?
Yeah, it's £28,000, I think. It was something like that.
I feel like it were even more than that.
Was it more than that?
I'm going to have to go and check.
I'll have to check. I don't know. So
she's checking now for you, John. Don't worry, look, she's on it.
So I'm 6 years old. I still vape a little bit because I need a vice. We all need a vice. As long as it's in moderation, as they say. So I vape a bit, but I gave up smoking 6 years ago. I don't gamble. I do actually. I've just started playing the lottery because I'm broke. So I do Euro Millions and one lotto a week just to see, to say the story. I wear glasses, but it's not a strong prescription. I woke up and I just grabbed my phone and it went, "You've won National Lottery." And I went, "What?" And I had no glasses on. I saw 3.2 and I went, it's literally put my phone down and went,
True.
Yeah, picked it up, £3.20.
But you had that moment. How good to have that moment.
I had that moment. Put my glasses on, £3.20.
You kind of not right. I'm going to tell you how much you've saved.
That was last year, was it?
Yeah. So because you'll be 18 years this December. Is that right?
Yeah, but this is 18 years. I'm 18 this 29th of December. Yeah.
So this is at 17 years. And if you would spend £80 a week on alcohol, I really want people to hear this, because £80 a week, that's like less than a night out sometimes, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm underestimating that.
Yeah.
Yeah, massively. So. I'd have spent £80 on a Friday.
Yeah, that's the thing.
£80 a week, £70,000.
Bloody hell.
You've been
70 grand.
Just think now, right, as well. I had this moment, and I've got to say, you're actually a grown up now, because you're 18 soon.
Yes, I am. Yeah, you're an old timer at 25, I believe.
Is that what it is?
That's what.
Can I ask you something then? Because I know you said about AA then, and I want to have a conversation about it, because I've never done AA. You've not done AA, have you, Alex?
No, and my dad didn't. My dad, had he been alive, he would be as sober as you now. He would have done in fact, more, he'd done 25 years, wouldn't he, if he'd have been alive still?
Yeah, this might make you feel better or worse, actually. I don't know. But my stepdad died when he was 56, and that was due to alcohol. Yeah. Right. So, and I thought, are you like 55?
I'm 55.
Sorry, 55.
Yeah,
55. I saw it somewhere, and I thought, oh my God, like it's so young. Like you've got so much life ahead. And like, it just made me really sad to think that my stepdad like left us at 50 and due to alcohol. Do you know what I mean? So he
never got sober.
No, he didn't really know that he was an alcoholic.
Say he wouldn't have known he needed to, would he?
No, but he did know. You know what? He actually did. We ran a pub, and I remember, I've said this before, he would come in, say on a Monday, and he'd be like, Lisa, please, if anybody comes in, will you tell them that I'm not here? And he would like try and hide upstairs to try and not drink. And I remember the days when he would say, right, I'm not drinking for a bit. And he would like give up drinking for a week. And me and my mum, he'd be grumpy, irritable, and he was such a really lovely, happy drunk. Like everybody loved him. So when he stopped drinking, it was like, oh, fucking hell, will somebody get him a drink? Because we didn't know, we didn't know what we know now. Do you know what I mean? Your
stepdad was a happy drunk as well, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
My dad was the opposite. He was lovely sober, and then he'd turn into a shit when he'd had a drink.
Yeah,
so we were like wanting him to be sober, whereas I guess it's all personality as well.
Yeah. Well, everyone's so different. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
You know, I was a bit of the best quote I've ever heard to describe my drinking was, when I enjoyed it, I couldn't control it. And when I controlled it, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's so spot on that, because it's like there were times when we'd go out, go to a club, like get in at 3, and then next day we'd go to a pub for lunch, and I'd be on the Bloody Marys, and they'd go, what are you doing? And I'd go, come on. And I'd just be topping up, and it would just like, I'd have one, and I'd be like, whoa, we're back, come on. And it'd be like that off, you know.
Yeah.
But one thing I tell people is that first hit of a drink, you know, like especially on an empty stomach, that first glow, I'll call it.
Yeah.
That warmth is fantastic. It's the best feeling in the world. But you will never, ever, ever in any night reciprocate that feeling from that first drink. And what you're doing is chasing that initial high from that first drink. So you think, oh, right, I want that again. You know, you're never going to find it. You will not get that. You'll not get it. And it's like insanity. You're attempting to do the same thing over and over again, and it's no different.
It's mad, isn't it? And it is. And I think when you first stop drinking, one of the things that you miss is exactly what you're describing there, that how do you get that moment of, oh, how do you get that at the beginning? And actually what you find is the longer you go on being sober, you don't actually need those big moments of... because you're actually pretty content most of the time. And I think contentment,
it's learning to
that's exactly what it's about. Contentment is walking that straight underrated. Middle. It's like the Buddhist middle way.
Yeah.
It's not too manically happy. It's not like, because
they're not good emotions. I think being manically happy and being manically sad, they're not actually good emotions.
Just walk that middle way.
I tried to talk to my son about this because he's 21 and he hates himself after he's been out drinking. Like, he's so honest with me. He's in Australia at the moment, and that's in a bid for him to try and sort himself out and get away from
Australia.
Yeah, I know. He's very far. He's doing really well. I'm so proud of him right now. He's doing amazing. But I was having a conversation with him the other day, and we were talking about that. And I was like, it's learning to live and to find the joys in the ordinary things that we've been led to believe are boring. They're not boring. Do you know what I mean? And it's that, like, exactly what you said about being really happy or really down. It's just learning to walk in that. Yeah. And I think there is joy in that, but when you're not used to it, and from a very young age, a lot of us, we've drank from being teenagers, so we've not walked that middle line like as long as we can remember. It makes me sad though sorry, I'm just thinking about you stopping all that time ago because of the press, and all this, and then having to kind of come out and say, I'm an alcoholic, because that's what you've got to say when you go to AA.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's different now. Like, for me, stopping, I found so much joy in stopping. And I find, like, with a lot of people that have been to AA, they feel like they're missing out, that they're different.
I was just going to ask you to go back to the AA bit, and this was it. And I find that dead hard.
If it works for you, it's a brilliant organisation. Yeah. It's fantastic. And some of the stuff that they, life on life's terms, all that. It's a brilliant program, but I couldn't kind of, to be honest, there was it got to the press that I was going, and I didn't know whether that was phone hacking or someone had shocked me in anonymity, that put me off. I asked someone to be my sponsor. They said no. And I thought, that's not. So I just thought, do you know what? I can do this on my own. And I have done it.
It makes me sad that though. John,
please, anyone listening who is in the program, I think it's brilliant, and I'm not knocking it. It just didn't work for me personally. I think it's a fantastic movement. It helps a lot of people and a lot of families as well, because there's Al-Anon.
Yeah.
Which is families of partners of people who've got drink problems. So I just think it's an amazing
families.
It's an amazing organisation, and it's free. And it's I remember saying about the Priory. I went, I said it's AA for $2,000 a week, but it's AA and bed and it's an AA bed and breakfast for $2,000 a week. But the Priory's an acute mental hospital. You got to remember, it's not just alcoholics in the Priory. There's all different problems in the Priory, as I found out, which was a bit of a shock, really. But the press was so all over me. I went to the Lancashire Priory, not Altrincham, and they sent a helicopter up and tried to find me.
That's crazy.
They got wind of that I'd gone to that one, and I had to go inside and hide. Because they wanted to try and get a long lens photo of me,
It just seems so mental.
He's flying low, and I went, I think I know what's going on here, So, also I got done for drink driving. One was a mercy mission that I didn't really want to get in the car, but someone had a poorly son, and I said, okay, I'll drive you. And it was very unfortunate, the circumstances. I overtook a police car that had stopped somebody, and there was a right turn, and he pulled me. And I said, why have you stopped me? And he said, well, you didn't take that right turn. I went, no, I was indicating to overtake you. And he went, right, stop. He went to take this, and I was just over. So I got done. And then 10 years later, I got done again. But it was my fault that time. And I thought, well, I'd heard that if you get done 3 times, it's custodial. And I just thought, I can't go down.
No.
I can't, that's another major reason. Despite the fact they were 10 years apart, I just thought, I can't do time. And I just...
Oh, no, it'd have been awful.
No.
When we were younger, though, I feel like everyone drunk drive. I got in car loads with, like, my mum and stepdad.
My dad drove all the way up Blackstone Edge on the wrong side of the road to practice
Christmas, visiting relatives. Oh, we have a sherry, yes. What do you want? You go and do the rounds at Christmas, and it would.
Yeah, everyone. It's just like now. It's like so unheard of. But when we were younger, it wasn't. Terry got pulled. He got done once for driving home from my stepdad from the pub to his house. The police pulled him, and he literally put his hand and went, and drove home. So they went, "What on earth are you doing?" He said, "Well, I was nearly home, weren't I? I might as well park my car up than you pull me there."
Unbelievable the way it's changed.
And he got done. And yeah, it's just.
Is it Scotland where it's no drink? You can't have any. There's somewhere. It's one of our. I
think it should be none. I think it should be
it's
absolutely
no drink.
Zero tolerance. Yeah.
And another thing, someone came up with the idea, and I think it's brilliant, that your boarding card for the plane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. 3 drink minimum.
Yeah.
Stamped.
Do you know when I got
air rage is a massive problem now.
On a plane once, I was, because we also lived out in Cyprus, both of us, as like younger adults, and that we used to both probably drink drive then as well, because everyone was doing that. Nobody cared because it was all backstreet lanes.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd never dream of doing it now, but I once was coming back from Cyprus to home, and I must have been that pissed. They refused to serve me alcohol on the flight. And I didn't think that I was that bad. But yeah, they actually said, "No, you're not having it."
You actually got refused on the plane. Yeah. I am so glad I worked with you.
But you know why I did, though?
So embarrassing.
Yeah, but you know, when I actually look back in hindsight, that was me being really uncouth. So I'd gone on the flight and I was coming home on my own to see my parents. And I'll talk to anybody. Not so much now, but before, when I was drunk, honestly, I'd be doing press-ups on the floor just to show off, arm wrestling men, you name it. I had no shame whatsoever. Still don't feel that embarrassed about it. I actually think I was quite funny, but that's
you were really good at them press-ups. So I was telling Rob about that the other day.
Well good. I was really
good. One-handed.
No, I couldn't do it one-handed. I would have fallen over. But anyway, I got on this flight and I got chatting to these 2 guys, and they were saying, "Oh, should we get a drink? Should we get a drink?" And I was getting silly and rolling up grape skins and I don't know. See, it's so embarrassing, this story, because I promise you I'm not like this. But rolling my tongue up like that and spitting bits of grape out onto the chairs, like, I don't know why. I would never behave like that in a million years. But obviously, looking back, I wouldn't have been as quiet and discreet as I thought I was being. I'll have been a nuisance on the flight. I mean, that's just, if I saw someone behaving like that, I'd go mad. I've got absolutely mad. And I'm not talking a kid, John. I was like 30.
Okay. Well, we all have regrets.
Well, it sees you in a different light now. It's a whole different light.
Honestly, I have no idea why I would behave like that. Like, that is just not something I would do. But I talk about it. I guess I am slightly ashamed of that, but only because it happened.
It's all right. You're in a safe space.
I'm actually all over Spotify. You know.
When I used to fly, and sometimes I got the luxury because of the job of business or first, and it's just constant, you know, and it just like constantly plying you with alcohol, you know. First of all, you get on champagne, then it's the meal. What wine do you want with the meal? No, champagne, then an aperitif, like, you know, like a vodka and tonic. Then it's a wine with a meal. Then they come back round with a carrier. What would you like a top up? Then it's a digestive, like a brandy. And it's literally, it's poured down your neck in the upper classes. But I'm like, you know, it has to be, I think it should be a thing that really, because sometimes they forget and I go, "No, sorry, I said no." You know, like when you ask for the vegetarian meal, it should be said sober. Because it's embarrassing, keep saying, because, you know, unless depending on...
I think that it's got to change. Like, you know, when I get on a plane now, I always take our Be Sober stickers, right?
Stickers on the menu.
And every single time I get on a plane, I stick it right next to either the gin and tonic or the beers that they're going to buy, or like, because it annoys me. I think I went to Costco the other day and they were offering like drinks out, alcoholic drinks out. And I think it's disgusting. Honestly, it fumes me. Why are they doing that? So you could have somebody really struggling, going shopping, avoiding the alcohol aisle, and then before you know it, someone's there going, "Do you want to try this drink?"
Airport,
it could literally ruin people's lives.
5 a.m. They're doing testings.
Yeah. It's like, how many
back in the day, I'd have been like, sorry, I didn't quite get the flavour of that one. Can I try that one? I'd be like, that's how I would have been. I would have been like, "Oh, lovely." But
my ex was like that, you know. Every time we went to the airport, I'd think, "Oh no, here we go." As soon as we walked through that bit where they're offering you drinks,
would you like to try this? Let's try this.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because all those things about like being an alcoholic that we, like I've said, oh no, I'm not an alcoholic, I wouldn't do that. But things like, the stereotypical things of, do you drink in the morning? Do you drink spirits? All of those things that you kind of think, check, I don't do that, check, I don't do that. All bets are off when you go to the airport, aren't they? 4 a.m, 5 a.m, 8 a.m. It don't matter, does it? Everybody's on it.
I mean, Glasgow airport, I just couldn't believe it. It was just carnage. But looking back, I used to drink early. If I'd do it, and then I'd go in the lounge and I'd have a drink. Yeah, but looking back now, just I'm ashamed, and I can't judge other people, but I just look and
it's because now. It's not in a judgmental way. It's just like
I judge people all the time. I'm not even bothered.
But there's a part of relief that it's not you, because once you know and once you can see it, you can't unsee it. No. So that's when you do look at people and you're like,
carnage. No. Carnage. Airports are carnage. Always.
They're not the only place though, are they? Like hair of the dog, things like that. Do you ever drink hair of the dog? It's a perfectly acceptable thing to do, isn't it?
Of course.
Encouraged.
Well, people say, do you mind being recognised? Of course I don't, because I chose this job. I say, no, it's part of the job. Can I have a selfie? No, it's all right. I say, it's part of the job. It's part of the job.
Yeah.
And the moment I say no, I'll have picked the wrong person. They'll go around telling me I'm a nightmare because he said he wouldn't have a picture. So I always have a picture. Now, one of the beauties of being sober is I don't go to pubs anymore because drinking is not a spectator sport. Now, I'll go for a quiz.
Yeah, no, it's rubbish.
I'll go for a quiz, maybe a game of pool. Yeah. Maybe. But I won't just sit around with people who drink. Even though I'm perfectly comfortable without anyone drinking around me, it's just not something I want to do anymore.
It's just boring. It's boring.
But when people say, do you mind being recognised? One thing I've cut out of my life is aggro, because in a pub, people want to fight you or give you shit or try and wind you up.
Yeah.
Because they're drunk. But if I don't go to them places, I never get any bother at all. Everyone's lovely. Everyone's like, nice. Do you know what I mean? So that is a massive thing for me. Is why would I go to Yates's wine lodge at 9 o'clock in the middle of town on a Saturday night? It's just I'm asking for trouble. So I don't need that in my life anymore. But I've done it. I've been there, seen it, done it. Got the T-shirt.
I don't love
bumper sticker.
Going out really at all anymore. Like I actually even struggle going for meals because it all takes too long.
That's something I love because food's my thing now.
I love food, but it all takes too long. And I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like the in-between bits and stuff like I do find it a struggle. And there's lots of sober groups that kind of are still out there and they're doing all these things that they did drunk, but sober, like the raves and the clubbing and and I just have no interest. And that's probably more my age than anything, because the younger generation are doing them things and not drinking as
well. Well, that's fine, because I think it's gone out of fashion a bit of drinking. I think younger people
it has.
Look how many gyms there are.
Yeah.
When I was a student, there was one in town. It was called Corinthians, and it stunk. And I went once, and I went, no, I'm not coming here again.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I used to go occasionally to the one at the Manchester Poly teaching sites housing now, but I go there occasionally because I felt I always knew that I had to do something. So I have fits and starts with fitness, but it's a good outlet. But if you've got an addictive personality, you could get really addicted to the gym.
We are.
I said that the other day.
Waiting for it to open.
It's how I've ended up being a PT, John. It's how I've ended up being a PT, because my fitness had to take the place of the drink. So, I'm no longer spitting grapes at people. I'm flinging kettlebells around at them now.
That's good. Medicine
I said to you the other day, Alex, didn't I? I was like, gyms are literally like the new pubs these days. Even the way they go, the gym owners remind me of
it's ridiculous, isn't it? There's the gear, Sweaty Betty and all that, Lululemon, it's so expensive,
I hate that. I absolutely hate Sweaty Betty as a word, because we used to call people Sweaty Betties at school.
That's what I mean. Right, can I just show you then what a perfect example is this, right? So you used to call somebody Sweaty Betty and think you use Sweaty Betty. Now somebody's taken that name, turned it around and made like this incredible gym, and it is actually really good gym gear.
It is good gym gear. It's expensive though. It's like 80 quid for a pair of leggings.
Yeah. So they've turned it around now. They've changed it, and that's what we're doing with drinking and non-drinking. We're turning sobriety from being a conversation and a topic that is like boring to something exciting.
Well, people say you don't drink, you're boring. And we'll go, hang on. I'm not repeating myself, telling the same story every 2 minutes, grabbing my arm. It's just like one thing I do love to do is the French exit. It's just but I think you have to tell one person.
Yeah,
I don't think it's wise to not tell anyone and just do one, because people worry. They go, well, hang on, where's he gone? Otherwise, there's the Irish exit, which is a big mistake, which is we tell everyone you go, and it's always, come on, when you have a drink, come on, nowhere. So you don't ever do that. I'm sick of my family
kissing me.
Goodbye. Slip into the shadows. Just go.
Yeah.
Because that's what I tend to do. If I feel an obligation to go to something, I will go, but I won't stay long, and I'll get there early before it starts turning boring. Well, I'm not the boring person. It's the boring people that are telling me the same. Hey, come here.
And really close to your ear and stuff.
Yeah, and the breath.
Spitting in your ear, making your ear wet.
No. You've got to choose your poisons carefully. You choose new poisons. I like adrenaline. I like going to roller coasters and things like that.
I was just going to ask you that because,
you like roller coasters?
Oh, I love them. They're all a bit tame in this country. I'd like to go a bit further afield, to be honest,
Have you jumped
when I got sober, I think it'd been 2 years, I did Jack Osborne's Adrenaline Junkie, and Jack's sober. I went out there, and I just the time of my life. I went to New Zealand, and I did ice climbing, long lining, which is tightrope walking across a canyon.
Oh, wow.
The best thing I did was the third highest bungee in the world. I did a free fall jump from a cable car. I think it's 128 meters. Like Blackpool Tower, top of Blackpool Tower. It's like jumping off the top of that.
I could not do that in a million years.
You stick a camera on me, I'll do anything. I'm not going to bottle this. I'm going to do it. It's like another thing I did. They said, would he eat the world's biggest breakfast? And it was really hard. It was like 10 of everything. It was in West Horton, a place called Mario's Cafe. And they said, will you do it? So I kind of prepared myself. And, because I said, I'll do anything, stick a camera on me. And I did it. And I don't know, I couldn't eat the toast because he wasn't allowed to drink any liquids. Anyway, at the end, he said to Mario, they went, how's he done? He went, he done very well, I tell you. He said, they come from all over the world to try breakfast. But he said, John, he goes, by my estimation, he's third in the world. Third in the world.
Third in the world.
I said, I don't know whether to be triumphant or ashamed. But that was a mad experience. Competitive eating, I would probably do that. But I would, I have a propensity to, I have a tendency to eat. One thing you've got to watch when you get sober, sugar, because alcohol is full of it. Yeah. And what you do, your body craves the sugar that was in the alcohol. And people go, champagne's not fattening. Well, it is if you have enough. And so's like vodka and tonic, there's the sugar in that, even if it's slimline tonic. And lesser so like than beer, But I think one thing you've got to watch is, if you choose your poisons carefully, is I love chocolate. Not so much sweets anymore, but good chocolate. Yeah. I can't leave it alone. And I've just got to watch. So after Corrie, because I just didn't have time, I've started doing yoga every morning now. So I've gone 10, now I'm on 15, and then I'm going to move to 20 just to get... Because I remember I did a training video called P90X. It was Beachbody's thing, and I did it, and I got ripped. I got a six-pack back in 2013. But the only way I could do it was I was on my arse. I don't work. So I just trained every day.
Yeah.
And I did it. But it's like, I think one of the things that once you get you get a few years under your belt with giving up drinking and smoking as well, you start to think I can achieve a lot more. You get a sense in yourself that my discipline is so good that I've got, there's not a lot. I would never want to do, this is what I've always said, I would never want to not excel I would never want to not excel in something I liked.
Yeah.
I would always want to be really good at something I liked. If it's something I didn't like, it doesn't matter. And I'm one of those people that if I do it first time and I kind of go show some promise, like been bowling or clay pigeon shooting, I go, right, I love this because I'm all right at this. I'll better myself. But like the Italian and the yoga thing, you've got to keep coming up with things.
Do you reckon it's 1,000 hours before you can become an expert at anything? Like,
right.
In fact, it might even be 10,000. I might have underestimated that. I used to be a teacher.
I hope it's 1,000.
I feel like it's 10, you know. I feel like I've got that wrong. But it's so many hours before you can become an expert, and it's just not nobody's naturally gifted.
I think 21 times is the moment the brain.
That's a habit, yeah.
Yeah, to create a new habit.
Yeah. 21 times for a habit, and I'm sure. I'll have to find the figure now because I can't remember whether it's 1,000 or 10,000. But I reckon if you search how many times do you have to do something to become an expert at it, it'll tell you. But anyway, as a teacher, we used to say 10,000 hours. I think it's 10,000 hours. So if you think about all the time, I was an expert at drinking. Definitely at 10,000.
Do you know what though? By saying that amount of hours, how my brain goes, it's like
that's too many.
Yeah, like I'm bored of it. I'm bored. Yeah, I'm bored. I don't. If whatever I loved, if you've got to do this many hours, I'd say, you know what? I don't even like it anymore. I'm not doing that.
Shall I find out how many hours it is?
Do you want to think I have a fascination of discovering new soft drinks? So I don't really do the non-alcohols.
I wanted to ask you that because they've got Heineken Zero in the Rovers.
Yeah, I don't. It's a bit of a dangerous area, that.
Right.
Because people go
10,000.
Is it 10?
Yeah, 10,000 hours. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely an expert in alcohol then.
Yeah.
So was expert.
Ex-expert.
Ex-expert. So
break it up, Alex, into days for me. Because I know, but it won't work in my brain.
I'll do it. Carry on talking.
You do the math. So there's so many. I tried Seedlip. I think it's watery. I didn't like that. I like Sentia. That's good. Gabba, that stuff. That's nice.
We had Professor David Nutt on the podcast, you know.
Did you? I quite like that. And I think, I'm not sure. I think you do get something off it. You know, I'm not entirely sure. You do. I think the red one. I did fall asleep. I fell asleep from the telly, but that might have just been from grafting. But I don't. Copperberg cider I've done, but it doesn't taste like cider. Some things are so like the real thing. I don't see. The reason I drank was to get the feeling.
Yeah.
To get drunk. I didn't.
Yeah, not
I
the
didn't sample. I didn't savor the ice cold. It was just, in the end, it was just how pissed can I get and how quickly.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think most people do that. A lot of people say, I like the taste, but you're like, do you though? Because if you like the taste, you'd be on the zeros. It's bullshit, that.
I've been on holiday and we've met people on holiday and they went, what's that you're drinking? I go, well, that's a Shirley Temple, which is a kid's mocktail, which is ginger ale and grenadine. Yeah. And they've gone, oh, that's nice. And they've gone like, you know, it's more refreshing than beer.
It's so nice. Alcohol ruin. What I think when you you've done it for a bit, you do realise that the alcohol actually ruins the flavour of the drink. Like I used to like rhubarb gin and tonic, and then a shop near me brought out rhubarb tonic. So that with ice,
that Corstons is really nice. The apple and rhubarb soft drink. That's so nice.
It's just really nice.
Lisa, 59 weeks. So it's just over a year's worth of doing it in hours, right?
How many hours a day?
Well, if you were doing it 24 hours a day. See, I knew you'd ask that, and then it's going to take it away.
24, that's
You're not allowed
solid.
to sleep.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I've got another question for you because I'm dead conscious of time, but would you do I'm a Celebrity?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Career suicide.
Do you think?
I'm an actor. I'm like a proper actor.
You don't want to be known as the one on his way out.
If I was very young and I was a burgeoning career, yes, of course, it's great publicity. It was a good launch pad, right? Or if I was on my arse and doing really like I don't know, if someone said to me, will you retire? I said, no. I said, I'll die on stage.
No, there's lots of granddads and great-granddad acting roles needed, John. You don't need to retire.
They said, would you retire? I went, no, I'll die on stage. And I said, won't be the first time. And, So
That's like though. You should.
I have no desire. I have, the thing. I know a lot of people kind of do it as a kind of comeback special. The thing is, I'm fearless. So the bugs and all the stunts.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
I've had bugs.
Just easy.
We have an annual event. Be Wild. Basically, it's everybody from Be Sober goes away camping on a weekend.
Yeah.
And we did bug eating at that.
Right. How do you find it?
Just like
loved it.
I liked the attention of it, right? I'm like you, John, right? If you pay me enough or you put me in the spotlight, I'll probably do it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I'm very open about it. I like the fact that people go, "Are you going to do it?" And I go, "No," and then I do it, and like everyone knew I was going to do it. Even I probably did deep down, although I don't know. But I did it. How did I find it? It was like eating how I imagine eating toenails is.
What was it though?
Like I ate some mealworms, I ate a dung beetle, I ate a water scorpion, and I ate a leg of a tarantula.
Are these dried out?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. There used to be a thing in Selfridges where you had like a scorpion and a lolly, and do you remember? And you'd thing. Do you remember all that stuff?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
but it's not. In honesty, it's not that bad.
It's just to say
I couldn't eat a live one.
To say I've done them.
I tell you what, I wouldn't eat a live one. Not in a million years. I would not eat a live spider. That's one thing I wouldn't do for any amount of money.
I don't think
not even lottery funding.
No, they don't eat spiders, do they? On that now.
Well, they did do once. Who was it that had to eat that live one? They got in trouble for it.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it Stacey? Solomon?
No, the thing about reality TV is it's very lucrative, but it can do damage to your career.
Yeah.
A casting director will go, "What's he doing that for?" You know what I mean? You've got to be very careful. It's like when you're on your arse, you're going to have to just find another way. You have to avoid it because they've all come knocking over the years, but they just give up. They've given up on me now. The only thing I did do was Masked Singer, but it was singing. And it's a skill. And Strictly is great for an actor because it's dancing and it's great. But I've no desire to do it because I've no passion about dancing. So when I'm doing the panto and they go, "It's choreography day tomorrow," I go like, "Oh
my God, you did do singing. You did the Masked Singer, didn't you?
Yeah. It was right in the pandemic now. And I just thought, why not? God, yeah.
Can I just bring it back round before we finish? Because honestly, I don't think we've given Cold Feet enough time here. Like, okay. I honestly have to say, Cold Feet, back in the day when it first came out, was my favourite show. It really was. Like, it was British Friends, but better. And I know that's controversial, right? But Pete's character, right? He was just, and you did a comeback as well, didn't you? You did a final season.
13 years of absence. I think it was 2016 to 2019.
And apart from the fact that there's cheesy music going on in the background of some of the episodes, which has kind of like dated it a little bit, it's so relevant still, isn't it?
I just, well, it was such a massive hit again when it came back. People still ask me, when's it back next? There's still an appetite for it. It's amazing. There's still a huge appetite for it. I mean, the difference, Friends is a sitcom based in a studio. It's a studio-based sitcom, and this is like the Americans call it multi-camera. So there's like more than one camera in the studio, and ours is single camera. So the demand is still there for it, I
loved it, honestly.
Maybe we should do a
Pete and Jenny, they were brilliant.
Yeah, do a special. That would be good.
Maybe.
You should do a special. I'd love it.
See how that goes down, and then maybe come back. We were supposed to go again. We're supposed to do a special in Barcelona, a 90-minute kind of lampoons European vacation. But then the pandemic came, and it
was just brilliant. It really was. It was
because it's left open. We left it open. But
that's good.
You never know.
It's always good to know.
Never say never.
What's been your favourite acting role?
That's probably the one I owe a lot to, because I got to be able to play so many different emotions rather than, because my pedigree is comedy, really, from being a stand-up, and it just comes naturally. But Pete, especially the second time around, the suicide depression story, I got a lot of accolades for that because it was amazing, really. People stopped me. I remember a guy stopped me in a newsagent and he said to me, "Thank you." And I went, "What for?" And he went, "That performance you did in that." I went, "What?" He went, "I've been struggling with my mental health." And he said, "Thanks to you, I've been to a doctor and got myself sorted."
Oh, it just shows you the impact you can have.
Well, I couldn't believe it. So I got two awards for that. And one was from Kaleidoscope, mental health, and the other one was for Mind.
Honestly, it was amazing. My favourite episode is when you all go on holiday and the lads get stranded in the boat and they're actually basically in a puddle, but they won't get out.
That's the Lindisfarne episode. Well, do you know what happened on that? Was the anchor that kept the boat still was the actual anchor itself was aluminium, and the chain was the weight that kept the boat thing. So we went, right, that's it, that's a wrap. And I went like this, pulled the chain like this, and the anchor came up and went and hit me just below the eye. And I went, oh my God. Jimmy's in the boat. Oh my God. He went, you're bleeding quite badly. And I went, am I? I went, yeah, John, this is serious. Anyway, then the lady came, because Lindisfarne's such a tiny island. The nurse came to patch me up, and she went, you're the lady from the sweet shop. So it's like they all do different different jobs on the island. So the nurse is the sweet shop lady. Anyway, the next day we had a photo shoot. So one video cover, I know that it's all been patched up, but you can't tell. But yeah, I nearly lost an eye. I nearly lost an eye that night.
I was going to ask you where it was set, because that castle, that's a real place, isn't it?
That's Horton Tower interior, near Preston, inside, and then Lindisfarne Castle, that's up in Northumberland. That was the exterior. And
you can actually walk across at low tide, is that right?
You can, and get a drive. But then once you're there, you're trapped.
You lot didn't mind. You were all in the pub, from what I can remember, in your characters.
Yeah, I was still wild when we shot that one.
Loving it. Oh, honestly, John, we could talk for hours, but I know you probably can't. So,
well, thank you for having me on, and it's been a pleasure. And thank you for I hope I've given some encouragement. A lot of people do dry January, and they go, and I just say keep going. And it's a good thing. I don't think Sober October's really picked up, because they did Stoptober. I did the voiceover. Do you know what? I smoked as well. I was like, fucking hell, if I get caught.
You little rebel.
I did the voiceover for Stop Sober. Anyway, but I did give up in the end.
And that's so funny.
Sober October doesn't seem to cut it, but I know exactly why Dry January does, because it's just been that indulgence.
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone goes, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's great. It's a great thing, is Dry January, because people do it and they go, I really like this.
Carry on.
Let's crack on.
Yeah. Some people look forward to it, don't they? I think because they know Christmas usually comes with drinking, so January is something where they can look forward to. I think what I'd like to say for Dry January is that at the end of it, you can carry on if you want to. And
also you don't have to wait till January, because you can have a sober Christmas.
Best thing I've ever done.
Yeah. What would you say about, before we go then, top tip for Christmas for everybody, because this will be out before then?
Top tip for Christmas. It's not about the booze, Christmas. It's just not. That's not what it's about. Christmas is not about the booze. It's about, it's the season of goodwill, really. I mean, be nice to each other. I just think there's too much onus put on alcohol at Christmas, because even your nan gets drunk on snowballs who you've never seen before, or sherry, and it's like, oh no, I don't like this. It's kind of like and particularly in the UK, we're very unsophisticated drinkers.
Yeah. Well, like you've heard in this episode with me and grapes,
carnage. It's carnage. You know what I mean? Christmas is not just about alcohol. Find the joy in it without it.
Yes. Yeah, and we're going to go back to the beginning where you weren't, but once you listen back, you'll understand. It can be about Jesus too, can it, Alex?
Amen.
It can be about Jesus.
Amen to that. I'll tell you one more thing. I was on holiday and this woman came over and she said to me, you are the best dad I've ever seen. She said, anything your kids ask you to do, you do. You're in the pool with them all the time. And when you play with them, you're in the pool. If they ask you, you get in the pool. I said, I've never seen a dad as so hands-on like you. She went, I'm absolutely, I said, I've been watching you all day. She said, I can't believe it. She said, what's your secret? I went, I don't drink.
It's true. It's true. See, that's another podcast episode there about how you can spend time with your kids.
Yeah, don't drink. She went, right, get it. Okay.
I love it. I think the amount of times, like I know when I've done it, and when you're out with friends and you're drinking and the kids are coming up and they're asking you stuff and you're like, hang on a minute, there's a £5 shop Thursday. People don't realise that that's what they're doing, and then these kids, like, it's learnt behaviour, isn't it?
Well, my eldest won't remember he doesn't remember me of drinking.
Yeah,
my eldest has never seen me drink. So they get the same dad every day. They get the same consistent.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of. That's one of the greatest things about this is consistent, reliable, and totally predictable. There's nothing to fear because I'm always there because I don't change. Do you know what I mean? Alcohol, it can really, really. Really
it does change you. It fully changes you. You're not the real you. People say you speak the truth and you act how your inner person is when you're drunk. It's not. It changes you.
No,
it's mine. I think it is true. In Vino Veritas, I think you see the true side of people.
Do you?
I think so, yeah.
You know what, though, actually?
Oh, am I a grape spitter, really, John? I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, you are. Deal with it.
I might have to agree with this a little bit because, again, me and Beth were talking about this the other day, and she was saying, so those that have listened will know I've just had a recent ADHD diagnosis. And she was saying, oh my God, Mum, when you used to drink, that was basically you unmasking. That was who you were.
By the real me. I need to go and do some more work.
But yeah, and I think maybe it is, because I don't know, but I think there is a little bit of truth in it. But there is also truth that it does change your mind, like your chemicals and your mind and stuff like that. So
it does.
But
you've had an ADHD diagnosis.
Yeah.
Funny that because I went to a therapist. She went, I think you got ADHD. So
you know what, John? I didn't want to say it before because Alex says that I keep diagnosing people, right? But
diagnosed me with autism, John. Don't worry.
No, that was the ADHD autism guy. He diagnosed you with that. Well, he said it weren't a diagnosis, but he suggested it to you.
Everyone's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, you need to go and listen to that. Our last episode that's out now. Please go and listen to it.
Okay.
Because it's about ADHD.
So are you going to tell John you think he's got ADHD?
No, he told me first.
Have you been officially diagnosed?
Yeah.
I rang my mum and I went, Mum, I think I've got ADHD. And you know what my mum said? Oh, I've known for years.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I've known for years. Just laughing about it.
I get it. The stuff that you were saying, even throughout this, and I thought, I can't say it again because I keep telling people.
No,
and they might take offence and I'm not
bothered though. I'm not bothered.
Please go and listen to that episode if you do something.
Who's your guest? What's your guest's name?
It's I'm blaming this on ADHD.
It's James Brown. James Brown.
Oh, I can't forget that. Yeah, hit me.
There you go.
Easy, yeah.
James Brown, and I really think you'll get a lot. In fact, my mum is thinking, and she's very close to getting a diagnosis, I think, after listening to that episode.
The only reason I would have got a diagnosis was to get a sunflower lanyard in the pandemic because it opened a lot of doors.
Oh, we had one of them anyway, us too.
Did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we just got them.
You could buy them online.
You could get on the flight first, if you got one of them.
In fact,
with all the drunks.
Yeah.
See, we could get away with quite a lot more, I reckon, because we weren't in the spotlight during the pandemic of whether we were following rules or not. So we just didn't. We were basically living life like Boris Johnson.
Alex.
It's true. See, and that's why she thinks.
Anyway, if it happens again, then come to us. I'll get you a sunflower lanyard.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, it's been lovely. Thanks so much.
Lovely to talk to you. All right.
And
good luck. Have a nice Christmas.
And you have a lovely Christmas. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, wait, can I take a screen grab? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Look, he said he'd be nice to you, Lisa. So that's smile.
Hold on. I forgot how to do it.
Thanks. Cheers. Thanks for having me on. Good luck. Have a lovely Christmas. Oh, you've not done it.
Oh, she's not done it yet. Look, I'm studying.
I'm doing it next. Cheers.
Cheers. I feel like a ventriloquist.
I've got it.
All right. Take care, John.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. See you later.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck in Panto.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We really do appreciate your support. So to stay updated with our latest episodes, be sure to follow or subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to share the Be Sober love with your friends, helping us reach even more people.
If you're interested in learning more about the impactful work we do, or you want to become part of our incredible Be Sober community, visit our website at besoberofficial.com. There you'll find all the information you need and discover how you can get involved. We look forward to welcoming you into our community of change makers. Until next time, be brave,
be kind,
and be sober!